This is Just Block, and like many of you, I've been playing Tekken 8 and kind of hating it. Like, it's a great game, but it's also kind of dog water. Tekken is one of the long-standing giants in fighting games. Having been around so long, it's bound to come with some baggage. But instead of going through your phone and tracking your location, that small blonde female is knowledge checking you with a string that goes low, mid, high, low, and counter hit launches at every single point. Check your enthusiasm at the door because this is why Tekken 8 kinda sucks. The first thing you'll notice that's slightly different about Tekken compared to other fighting games is that it's a 3D fighter. Oh, that's cool. So instead of spacing on only the X-axis, you also have the Z-axis to space and punish your opponents? Wrong, you wish it was like that. No, it's basically a 2D fighter in that you space on one axis against your opponent to manage and challenge distance and stuff, and then the other axis is there as another form of counterplay for specific moves. Oh, that's cool. So if a move is coming from one side, you can sidestep the other way to avoid it? No, not at all. Every move has specific tracking, and some moves need to be stepped to the same side, and other moves need to be stepped to the opposite side. Also, some moves have special tracking properties, which means they will hit people who are moving laterally. So you can use these moves to punish people for sidestepping. Well, not exactly. You can also cancel your sidestep into block, so you won't punish them, but you can catch people while they're doing it. Sounds like everything has a very specific niche and use to it. Exactly. Expect nothing to work how you'd think it would. The next thing you'll notice playing Tekken is that for some reason, everyone is moving way faster than you. It's called the Korean backdash, and it's what everyone in the community absolutely jerks off to. 'Cause that's the nut I need. Oh god, you have to be able to do the KBD if you want to really play Tekken. They're right, but I can't hear them with all that d in their mouth. To explain it simply, it's a way of moving backwards away from your opponent by backdashing and canceling that into a crouch and then canceling that into another backdash. And by doing that, you move a lot faster than just backdashing repeatedly. If executed properly, you can be zipping around the screen at supersonic speed. Fast as fuck, boy! It feels super nice to do when you learn how, but if you're not a long-time fighting game player, you won't. The KBD is simply an execution barrier for something so fundamental and entry-level as the movement of the game. People say it's what makes Tekken feel like Tekken, and I totally agree. The look and speed of the movement is what gives the game much of its feel, but the optimal movement being restricted to a specific input seems so archaic. This makes everyone new to Tekken put on a big dunce cap that says, I can't KBD. Then we're all gonna grab our baseball bats and we'll hit them with every single knowledge check we have in our kit. Get 'em, boys! Tons of games have dash macros. Anime games have picked it up, and they still have a lot of depth and they seem to be doing well. Throw that thing in Tekken, bro. Open the gates to some new players, man. Let them in. After you get beat senseless with a baseball bat, I'm sure you're going to want to take your anger out on some defenseless Jin mains. I'll give you guys a secret tip, alright? Learn some offense, and then go, go, go! Press as many buttons as you can, as fast as you can, and do not stop for any reason. If you want to make this even more effective, I recommend playing one of two types of characters. A plus frames dispenser like Dragunov, or a string queen like Nina. These characters specialize at making new players piss their pants and start mashing the jab button, only to get high evaded by one of a million moves that they have never seen in their whole life. Offense is the easiest thing to learn and have success with by far. Almost every character has a few tools that can be abused and spammed against new players to eke out free wins without having any knowledge of the game at all. Oh no! You accidentally started blocking? Now you have to deal with their offense. Don't worry, it's really simple. All you have to do is duck the high and low parry the lows, and this string has a high into a mid, so don't duck it. You actually have to sidewalk and then get behind them, but not that string. It's a very similar string, but it actually has a low that will catch you sidewalking. As you can see, defense is by far the hardest thing in Tekken to learn, and the most frustrating thing to not understand. Every character, all they want to do is force you to block and then suffocate you with move after move that you simply do not have the answer to. The only way to find the answer is to try different stuff and just get hit for attempting to learn. Or you can take that character into the lab and record the string and try to find the answer for it. If that works, then you have to hope to God that you find another Nina so you can try out your defensive strategy. But if you don't run into one in a few days, then you're totally going to forget the answer until you're right back where you started, getting high mid low high midded to death. This is all part of the process. Okay, maybe you're kind of serious about this game and took the time to learn some matchup knowledge against one of your worst characters. I have terrible news for you. There are 32 characters in this game, and every single one functions completely differently. And most of them have knowledge checks that if you don't know the answer, can take chunks out of your health bar. This game is hard to learn. If you want to be a very high level player, either give up, or accept the fact that it will take countless hours of rage-induced losses to people who are clearly much worse than you. As of writing this video, I have almost 60 hours in Tekken 8 and a combined 700 hours between Tekken 7 and 8. After literal years of grinding with Brian and Jin in Tekken 7, I only ever managed to reach around orange ranks. I tended to have waves of playing and would always get way too frustrated with gimmick characters to make any genuine progress. I would eventually give up on the ranked grind and play something else. In Tekken 8, I have finally crossed that threshold and made it into the red ranks. To many players, that may not sound like much. They're sitting at Mighty Ruler or Fujin or Tekken God saying I'm still not even playing the same game as them. And they're right. Tekken is a bottomless pit of knowledge and skill and decision making. There is endless room to learn and grow. You could play Tekken for decades of your life and still not know everything about every character, I promise you that. After reaching Garyu with Brian Fury, I can tell you that I absolutely do not know everything about Tekken 8. But what I can tell you is that I see the game in an entirely different light. You don't need to have all the answers to win against everyone. You don't need to recognize every string that Nina is doing to you. All you need is one answer. One good answer that you can take and launch them with and carry them all the way to the wall and then pressure them to death. That's all you need. That's all that Tekken is about, really. It's not about being perfect, and it's not about rolling your opponent with offense, although that is an exquisite part of the game. It's all about that one moment, out of one match, in a week of play, where you finally sidewalk that string, where you finally duck the high and get the launch, where you backdash and you whiff punish with a perfect electric. It's about those small moments of brilliance that you pull out of nowhere in the heat of the moment. This game is hard and frustrating. It makes me lose my faith in humanity every time I lose to a Yoshimitsu who has one game plan to flash in every single possible gap. Tekken is a mountain that feels impossible to climb, and that's exactly why you should climb it. When you're finally standing higher on the mountain and you can look back to see the player that you used to be, that is an incredible feeling. And if you're one of the few people who this resonates with, please like and subscribe and share my video. No, but actually, if you're one of the few people who this makes sense to, please take some time to learn about the game so you can truly see it for what it actually is. And please, don't be that rank player who face rolls the controller. I will low parry you. This game has given me countless hours of nail-biting fun and guttural screaming rage with my friends. No other game can have me cackling in joy and screaming in futile rage in a span of 30 seconds, like Tekken can. This game was the worst, longest, most arduous learning process I have ever experienced in a game, and I would do it 1,000 times over. It's certainly not for the faint of heart. And if I might be so bold, I would go as far to say that Tekken is the Dark Souls of fighting games. It kicks your teeth in, and you have no idea what's going on, and you have to grind and grind to finally beat that boss that is the Hwoarang player who is mashing on their controller. But when you finally do, you feel that sense of accomplishment. If you like fighting games, you'll love Tekken. It sucks.
巨大なガマを手に取り、壁に落ちて、敵を注文。ドラゴンは前に